There's a famous movie line that goes something like this: "In this world, the greatest warrior is a mother." And honestly, it sounds true. A mother is the one who can stand against the whole world just to protect her kids. A mother can do things for her children that no one else ever could. So if I ask you right now, is every mother like that? Chances are your answer would be yes. But today we're making a claim. By the time you finish this video, your thinking might completely change. Today's story is not just disturbing, it's beyond terrifying. It crosses every imaginable limit of motherhood. This is a real-life house of horror. And once you hear the full story, you'll realize you've probably never seen or heard anything this dark before. So stay with us till the very end. And before we move forward, if you love real crime stories, hit that subscribe all button, turn on the bell icon, and stay updated with our latest videos. Friends, this entire story takes place in the United States, in Detroit, Michigan, one of the biggest cities in the state. In the eastern part of Detroit lived a woman named Mitchelle Blair. She was a mother of 4 children. Due to constant conflicts with her husband, she had separated from him and was living alone with her kids in a large rented house in the city. She was trying to manage everything on her own: rent, school fees, groceries, bills, all by herself. But then life took a turn. Mitchell lost her job. Expenses kept piling up, but the income stopped. At first, she somehow survived by borrowing money from relatives. But relatives can only help for so long. Slowly, they started saying no, and that's when things really began to fall apart. She failed to pay her house rent. Month after month passed, but the rent was never cleared. Eventually, Mitchell pulled her kids out of school, telling the authorities that she would homeschool them herself. By now, nearly $20,000 in rent was overdue. The landlord finally lost patience and asked her to vacate the house. But even after repeated warnings, Mitchell neither paid the rent nor left the house. Left with no choice, the landlord took the matter to court. After hearings, the 36th District Court issued a final eviction notice. Still, no response. So finally, the court ordered a team to physically evict the house. March 24th, 2015. Early morning. The eviction team arrived at the house. At that time, Mitchelle Blair was not home. She had gone out with her children. The workers knocked on the door multiple times. No answer. Eventually, they used a spare key and entered the house to begin the eviction process. They started removing furniture and household items. Then they reached the living room. That's when they noticed a large, deep freezer. When they tried to move it, something felt off. The freezer was way heavier than normal. Suspicious, the workers decided to open it. Inside, it was completely packed with thick ice. They figured if they removed the ice, the freezer would be easier to move. As they started breaking the ice, they noticed something underneath: a large plastic bag. They removed more ice, pulled the bag out, and opened it. And the moment they did, everyone froze. Inside the bag was the dead body of a young girl. The workers immediately called the police. Police arrived, secured the scene, and began investigating the freezer more closely. As more ice was removed from the bottom of the freezer, they discovered another body. This one belonged to a young boy. 2 dead children, hidden inside a freezer. Police immediately began searching for the woman who lived there. Mitchelle Blair. Neighbors told police about places she frequently visited. After rapid searches, Mitchelle Blair was found and taken into custody within hours. At the time of her arrest, she was with only 2 children. But she was known to have 4. When police asked about the other 2 children, Mitchell gave no clear answers. She was then brought back to the house, standing in front of the freezer. When asked about the bodies found inside, she said just 2 words: "I'm sorry." Nothing more. She was arrested and taken in for interrogation. What she confessed next shook everyone to their core. According to Mitchelle Blair in August 2012, she came home from work one day and saw her youngest son, Matthew, doing something inappropriate with a plastic doll. Shocked, she asked him where he learned that behavior. Matthew replied, "Stephen does it to us all the time." Stephen was Mitchell's oldest son. Hearing this, Mitchell completely lost control. She ran upstairs to Stephen's room, confronted him, asked him directly. Stephen said, "Yes." That was it. Mitchell punched him in the face. Then came kicks, then non-stop beating. When Stephen collapsed, she wrapped a plastic bag around his head and continued beating him. He passed out. Hours later, when Stephen regained consciousness, she attacked him again. This time she poured boiling hot water on his private parts. The skin began to peel. His screams were silenced with cloth stuffed into his mouth. She tied a belt around his neck and hung him. When he fainted, she dropped him again. This torture continued for 2 full weeks. On August 30th, 2012, Stephen died from severe injuries. He was only 9 years old. Afraid of being caught, Mitchell hid his body inside the deep freezer. She warned the remaining children, "If you tell anyone, you'll end up the same way." Terrified, they stayed silent. Months passed. 9 months later, in 2013, Mitchell accused her daughter, Stony Blair, of the same thing. Once again, rage took over. Stony was brutally beaten, locked inside a room, denied food and water, only taken out to be beaten again. In May 2013, Stony died. She was 13 years old. Her body was placed in a plastic bag and stacked on top of Stephen's body inside the freezer. Mitchell later claimed she planned to surrender, but said her youngest son begged her not to leave him. So she bought more plastic bags and kept sleeping in the same room as the freezer. 2 dead children, 3 years under the same roof. In court, Mitchell showed no remorse. She screamed at judges, at lawyers, at officials. She claimed she was abused as a teenager and received no support from her own mother. She said she didn't kill her children. She killed monsters. But investigations found no proof supporting her claims. On June 17, 2015, Mitchelle Blair was convicted of first-degree murder. She was sentenced to life in prison without parole. She did not appeal. She showed no emotion. Today, Mitchelle Blair remains behind bars in Michigan. Her surviving children were taken into protective custody, and their identities remain sealed. Yes, Mitchelle Blair forever stained the word mother. But even after hearing this horror, there's still no doubt a mother is the greatest warrior in this world. Sometimes monsters don't come from outside. Sometimes they live inside the home.